What's going on YouTube? SSJ Quinny here, and today I'm coming at you guys here with another video, and it's going to be all forms and versions of Fusion in Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z. Now don't worry, I'm not going to be sitting here talking long. I just want to give a big thanks to Jordan MacArthur. He gave me the idea to do all of the fusions and methods, and I thought it was a great idea. So here I am making the video. He's been following me, or shall I say sub to me, since this channel started, so thank you very much for all the support, and thank you for the good idea. Anyways, he gave me the ideas for this video, so let's get started, shall we? So we're going to go ahead and start off with the first legitimate fusion we see in the whole series, and this here is the Namekian fusion, also known as merging. It is one of the best fusions in my opinion, and let me explain why. Now, sadly, it can only be done by Namekians, but here's how it works. So two Namekians need to choose to fuse. So basically, they both have to be willing, right? And they need to choose one person to be the main body. And then the person who chooses to be the main body places his hand on the other Namekian, and then this happens. The person who decided not to be the main body disappears in a flash of light, and they go into the person who decided to be the main body. The final being that comes out of the fusion is actually still the person who is the main host, but he does pick up a lot of traits and memories from the person that he fused with. But again, this person here that fused with Nail is still Piccolo. The power boost is absolutely humongous. For example, Nail's power level we can say is around Rikum, which is 42,000 I believe, and Piccolo, let's just say he's around Rikum 2, slightly stronger, slightly weaker. We don't really know what he was like after his training on King Kai, so we've never seen him fight before he fused, and he was strong enough to beat Frieza's second form, who had a power level over 1 million.
I feel incredible! Yes, 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 yes! I can win! I feel great! I can do this! Ugh.
As you can tell by this wonderful reaction, the power boost is humongous.
And the only other version of this fusion that we see in the show is Kami fusing with Piccolo. Now, it's basically the same fusion you did with Nail. The only difference is with the performing of the fusion that Piccolo put his hand on Kami's chest instead of putting it on, like he put it on Nail's arm when he did it with Nail. That's a very small difference, not really a difference at all. They also use Piccolo's body again because, number one, Piccolo says he's stubborn, I want to keep my own body. Second of all, it makes 100% sense because Kami's all old and shriveled, and his body looks like Piccolo's arm after it got absorbed by Cell, so the body's definitely not as good. Other than that, it's the same fusion. The only other difference is that they are fusing into one being again. Nail and Piccolo are just a random two Namekians that fuse together, while with Kami, he's fusing back into his original self. He refers to himself on the look-off as the Nameless Namekian. He says he didn't forget his name. Goku calls him Kami Piccolo, and he says, no, you can just call me Piccolo, and he ends up referring to himself as Piccolo again. And the only other thing that I should mention with both of these fusions is that though it is Piccolo and he is himself, he has memories from Nail and Kami. For example, he says Dende's name, and he recognizes the Great Elder. And second of all, he says when he's fighting Cell, he thinks of a plan, and he goes, the Kami in me must have been smart. Therefore, he has inherited some of Kami's smarts as well and some of his memories. Pretty cool, huh? Moving on.
Next, we have the fusion dance. So basically, this fusion is done by doing a weird little dance, and the person you do the dance with that you want to fuse with has to be of almost identical height, and your power levels have to be 100% matching, and your moves, shall I say, as you're performing the dance, you need to be the exact same with the person you're fusing with. So pretty much mirrored of your opponent. I don't really know how to explain it. Goku, do you have any ideas?
I've got it.
You got an idea? Let's hear it.
Piccolo and I can show you how it's done.
Right on, let's see it.
Now, watch us very carefully. We only have time to demonstrate this once. Just follow me, Piccolo, and do what I do, but in reverse, like a mirror opposite. Jean? Ha!
And the result is an ultimate fighter with power levels that are just insane. For example, Goten and Trunks aren't anywhere near as strong as Goku as a Super Saiyan 3, right? That is obvious. But he thought if they did the fusion dance and pulled it off, that whoever they became, which is Gotenks we know now, was going to be able to beat Fat Boo, while in his Super Saiyan 3 form, granted Goku wasn't trying his full power, he was struggling. So he thought that Gotenks, even before Super Saiyan 3, because Goku did not expect him to Super Saiyan 3, was going to be stronger than Fat Boo. But this fusion does have some drawbacks. Let me explain.
First of all, the dance takes time, so you're going to need to find the time to do it. In a fight, that might be hard to do. Or if you mess up the dance just a little bit, so for example, say you forget to extend your fingers, or say you're just not 100% mirrored with the person you're fusing with, you may fuse into something like this. Here we have Gotenks when Goten or Trunks messed up the fusion, and they ended up turning into a very fat version of Gotenks who could barely even run without losing their breath. And you have to wait the full 30 minutes before you defuse, so if you're fighting someone, you're going to have to deal fighting with them like this. Or if you mess it up, you can also turn into this really skinny, old, frail version of your fusion, which again can hardly even move without coughing and getting tired. So if you mess up and turn into any of these, it can be life-threatening because you can't just defuse. You need to wait the whole 30 minutes. Goku and Vegeta also messed up the fusion fighting Janemba, though it was in a movie, so it's not canon. This fusion was named Viku, and though he seemed to be slightly durable, he did take a bit of a beating. He still was, he almost got Vegeta and Goku killed, but they defused at the last second. The only other downsides to this fusion is, again, it only lasts 30 minutes long. If you use a transformation like Super Saiyan 3, like Gotenks did, it drains so much energy that the fusion only lasted around 10 minutes. And you defuse without even knowing. So it's like you could be just about to deliver a big whammy like Gotenks was against Super Boo, but then he just automatically defused because he was running out of energy extra quick to do Super Saiyan 3. There was no warning. And the only other weakness, though this only happens in movies, so I'm not sure if it's canon, when Gotenks was fighting Hirudegarn, he got hit so hard that he got knocked out of the fusion. And after you fuse, you cannot do another fusion dance again for an hour, so that is another weakness. But again, the transformation, if the fusion is done correctly, you can be extremely strong, but I'd still say that Namekian fusion is better. Again, the Namekian fusion can only be done by Namekians, though, so yeah, moving on. Actually, right quick, I just want to say that this fusion comes from a race called the Metamorans. It is believed that Goku met them in the other world, and the clothing that you wear when you do the fusion dance is Metamoran clothing. Okay, now moving on for real.
It's on! Great! Thanks, Vegeta. All right!
So here's how this fusion basically works. It's basically a better version of the fusion dance. Let me explain. So you put a Patara earring, which is an earring that the Supreme Kais or Kaioshins wear, on your left ear, and the other person you're fusing with puts it on the right ear, or vice versa, and you fuse together. You just, like, after the earrings are both put on your opposite ears, you fly together into a flash of light, and then you're fused. Now, this is why it's better than the fusion dance. Supreme Kai, or shall I say Old Kai, says down below here that it'll work even better. Now, this is kind of hard to say. Is the fusion actually a stronger multiplier than the fusion dance? Or is it just because it's supposed to last forever? Yes, originally this fusion was supposed to last forever. But now in Dragon Ball Super, I hate how they did this. They changed it. So if it's a Supreme Kai that's part of the fusion, you'll be fused forever. Just like Kibito Kai was until they used the Dragon Balls to separate. And Old Kai, he fused with the Witch, and he's been fused forever as well. But now a new Dragon Ball Super rules that you only be fused for an hour. And just like the fusion dance, if you use a crazy transformation that sucks up a lot of energy, like Super Saiyan Blue Vegito, you only stay fused for really about 10 minutes was Vegito Blue's time limit for being fused. So basically, this fusion used to be the best fusion out there. Why? Because everybody, not just Nameks, can do it. It used to be able to last forever, because that's what they said in Dragon Ball Z, but now in Dragon Ball Super they added that silly rule that it only lasts for an hour. Now again, it's still better than the fusion dance because it lasts 30 minutes longer, and it's a widely debated topic, but Old Kai says that this fusion is better. He doesn't necessarily say that it's a stronger fusion, but he says it does last, it's better, so a lot of people debate, and they say that the Potara fusion makes a stronger being than the fusion dance. That's not 100% proven, but I like to think that it does. And another thing that Old Kai says is that after you do the fusion, or the Potara fusion, you can't do it again. So Vegito couldn't fuse with, say, Potara Gotenks. You can't do it twice. And the only other thing I can think of is this. Goku asks if they should be Super Saiyan before using the Potara fusion. And Old Kai says no, because you'll stay that way forever. Super Saiyan will be like your normal form, and that'll shorten your lifespan because, you know, Super Saiyan puts a little bit of stress on the body. So yeah, being stuck in Super Saiyan forever wouldn't really be the most fun thing. And another thing that has been proven in the manga, as you can see here, but I don't think it's 100% concrete, is that he says because Vegeta and Goku are so strong, and the fact that one's living and one's dead, and the biggest thing is the fact that they're rivals and they live to outdo each other, Old Kai says that this actually makes the fusion much, much stronger. But again, the way he kind of says it, it's not like super concrete, but I do believe that the fact that Goku and Vegeta were rivals, it did make their fusion stronger, and a lot of other people believe that as well. And a lot of people don't know this, and a lot of people don't believe in this as well. And the only other thing, like in Zamasu's case, if you fuse with somebody who's immortal and you're mortal, it'll make the fusion all unstable, and you'll get all weird and gooey and purple, as you can see here. Next, we have the Super Android 13 fusion. It's only unique to him. When Android 14 and 15 both are destroyed by the other Z fighters, Android 13 absorbs parts from him, 2 in his chest and 2 go in his head, and he ends up turning into this thing right here, a Super Android 13 with a Vegeta haircut, and he is way more powerful. Moving on. Next, we have Cell's absorptions. Now, he has 2 different types. The first one, as you see here, is the one that scared us all as kids and made us cry. This is the one where he literally drinks people through his tail. It doesn't give him a giant power boost, but if he absorbs a lot of people and, shall I say, drinks a bunch of them, it makes him a lot stronger. For example, when Cell first fought Piccolo, he couldn't even beat him, but after he absorbed hundreds of thousands of people, he beat Piccolo very, very easily. And then we have the second form of Cell absorption, where he absorbs the androids as a whole through his tail. He just opens up his tail and sucks them right in. And then we have second form Cell after he absorbs Android 17, and then third form Cell, which is Perfect Cell, after he absorbs Android 18. And each android he absorbs, he gets much, much, much stronger. Anyways, that's all I got to say about that. Let's move on. Next, we have Super Boo's absorption. Basically, he takes a piece of himself and detaches it, and it sneaks up and ambushes a person and covers them. Now, you may think that the person would be able to escape, but as soon as Boo takes that piece of goo, or shall I say a part of his body, and brings it back to himself, the person that's inside the goo becomes part of him. I don't know, probably some Boo magic or something that goes on. After they become a part of him, they go inside of him and they shrink down, because, you know, when you go inside Boo, the way the magic works, it just shrinks you down, and you're inside a little pod thing that basically gives you all of his powers. He gets all the power from the person that he absorbs. It is unknown if he gets any extra power. He definitely could. Yeah, that's pretty much it. He gets the clothing of the person that he absorbed, and he also starts to start looking like them. For example, Boo didn't have a nose, and then after he fused with Gotenks, he had a nose. Next, we have the EX fusion. The EX fusion is a fusion invented for the game called Dragon Ball Fusions. It's basically a mixture of the Potara fusion and the fusion dance. Let me explain how that is. So, to do this fusion, you need to put on an armband called the Metamor ring. Metamor standing for Metamoran, the race that invented the fusion dance. This Metamor ring was invented by the Capsule Corporation. So each participant puts on a Metamor ring on their bicep, and this allows both of the users to fuse without even having to match their power level. Now, they each still have to do the fusion dance, and after the fusion dance is complete, they will fuse together. The only difference is that it is weaker than the fusion dance, but it will last forever as long as you keep the Metamor ring on, and when you fuse, you still only have one Metamor ring on. So when you take out the Metamor ring, the fusion is done. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the fusion, and a lot of cool fusions that came out of this fusion. This is the 5-way fusion, also known as the Ultra Fusion or the Maxi Fusion. Long story short, it is a fusion also invented in Dragon Ball Fusions, the video game, and it's basically a way to make 5 people fuse together. It's done similar to the fusion dance. You have to do a weird number of poses to do the dance, but they are different than the fusion dance, but you still say Fusion Ha, and apparently it was invented by the Ginyu Force. And the gender of the person created is, it really depends on who initiated the dance, I guess. I don't know too much about it, but that's pretty much it. If you want to know more, please look it up online, because I don't know too much about it. Anyways, moving on. This fusion here is called God Fusion Goku. This is going to be a really quick one. Long story short, there's an attraction in Universal Studios Japan where Goku is fighting God Broly, and he needs help. So the audience in the theater, he fuses with them, and this is the form that comes out. It's just called God Fusion Goku, and he defeats God Broly in this form. Yeah, there's a lot of craziness going on here. Moving on. Next here we have a fusion done by these two guys, Abba and Kado. And Yo Son Goku and his friends return. Long story short, they just kind of stand still and they say merge, and a little pink tornado appears and they turn into the purple guy we see here. Moving on. And last, and to me also kind of least, we have Super Android 17's fusion. Now this was done in Dragon Ball GT. Long story short, false Android 17 and real 17 create an aura, and the aura merges and then they merge. And basically, that's pretty much it. The resulting fusion is way stronger than the sum of the two parts. Somehow it's stronger than Super Saiyan 4 Goku. Let's remember this was also Dragon Ball GT we're talking about here. And yeah, that's it for the fusion.
Thank you very much for watching. If you liked the video, please let me know. If I missed any fusions, let me know in the comments below as well. And if there's something you disagree with, let me know as well. And Jordan MacArthur, I hope you liked this video. And all of you guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. It was fun to make, a lot longer than I thought it would be. And I'm trying to come up with more videos as frequently as I can, but I'm extremely busy. I just worked like a little over 60 hours this week. So, yeah, that is pretty much it. If you want to see more videos like this, please consider subscribing. I ain't coming out with stuff as much as I usually do, but again, I'm working 60 hours a week, but I'm trying my best. Anyways, thank you very much for watching again. Have a fantastic day, and yeah, thanks for watching. Take it easy.